It's not like going to a football field and trying to find somebody behind the bleachers. We are in the Daniel Boone National Forest.
Right now at 5 on WHAS11 News, it is now day 3 of the search for the I-75 sniper who fired into at least a dozen cars over the highway in southeastern Kentucky over the weekend. WHAS11's Ian Hardwick reporting from Laurel County. The manhunt in the woods, the Kentucky State Police briefing at 3 today, and an in-depth look at the suspect.
Plus, this man accused of sexually assaulting multiple women in Louisville appeared in a Jeffersonville County courthouse today. He's there on unrelated charges. I'll let you know what happened.
And Donald Trump and Kamala Harris get ready to face off in their Tuesday night debate, what both candidates are doing to prepare before sharing the same stage.
Right now in southern Indiana, we begin with breaking news here at 5. We now know when former Clark County, Indiana Sheriff Jamie Noel will be sentenced to prison. Into the WHAS11 newsroom late today, Judge Larry Medlock has now set his decision date for Monday, October 14th at 9 a.m. It comes after the sudden decision by Jamie Noel to plead guilty to 27 of 31 felony charges, which include counts of tax evasion, theft, and official misconduct. The ongoing scandal has exposed Noel's illegal spending on everything from steak dinners at St. Elmo's in Indianapolis, expensive cigars, to college tuition for his own daughters.
And we know the guilty plea deal he made with the prosecution could land him up to 15 years behind bars. Well, Judge Medlock has not yet approved that deal, meaning that he could very well change it. He's been asking to hear from former employees of New Chapel EMS if they believe it's a fair sentence. Now, if you were impacted by Noel's handling of New Chapel, you're encouraged to fill out a form on the Ripley County Prosecutor's website.
And right now to the search. Kentucky State Police are still looking for this man in wooded areas in southeastern Kentucky. They're looking for Joseph Couch. They believe he's the I-75 sniper who shot into 9 vehicles, badly injuring at least 5 people on Saturday night in Laurel County. Couch, 32 years old, lives in a town 20 miles south of where police say he was hidden over the interstate firing shots. And state police in Kentucky are now offering a $5,000 reward for any information leading to the arrest of Couch 3 days after the shooting. It's our top story we're still following. Hello, everybody. I'm Doug Proffitt.
And I'm Connie Leonard. WHAS11's Ian Hardwick and photojournalist Emma Gafter are in Laurel County with the latest from law enforcement amid their ongoing search.
The search for Jason Couch in Daniel Boone National Forest has nearby London, Kentucky cautious. Schools closed as the manhunt for the mass shooting suspect reached day 3. Teacher Larry Lee took the time off to check on his Poor Boys restaurant after a lackluster NFL Sunday for the Sports Lounge.
Hardly anybody showed up, but they were scared and didn't know. Nobody knew what was going on.
And now the Laurel County town is no closer to an answer than they were before, despite the dogs, drones, and helicopters Kentucky State Police are using to find Couch.
We're focused on protecting the residents and their homes and the businesses during this critical time. Our goal is to apply steady pressure and wearing Mr. Couch down.
The I-75 shooting happened on Saturday here at exit 49, which is now closed. However, law enforcement has been crossing the barrier, reaching into this wilderness in their search for Couch. They can only look in the daylight because of how vast the forest is here, saying they're not able to work at night. Police began their search after seeing texts from Couch to someone he knew saying he would, quote, kill a lot of people, after which police began tracking his phone. For people who live near the search area, KSP asks for neighbors to keep a lookout and check on each other. Shop manager Cassie King in London says it's common for people who live around. They even responded to calls to donate food to the police working this case.
Not an hour later, they're like, hey, we have too much food. Like, please don't bring any more today, like maybe tomorrow. So our community really always does show up and show out for any help that anybody needs.
And people in the community are being urged to stay away from that area because authorities believe the suspect could be armed and dangerous, of course. Anyone with tips are asked to call Laurel County, the number 606-878-7000. And as the story develops, we'll update you on air and online on WHAS11.com.
Well, now we want to take a closer look at Joseph Couch's criminal history. We know that he was arrested in 2023 in Knox County, Kentucky. He was charged with terroristic threatening, accused of pointing an AR-style rifle at someone else. This is a misdemeanor charge, which is why he was able to purchase a gun on Saturday, again hours before the interstate shootings. Again, he's from Woodbine, Kentucky. That town is about 20 miles south of the shooting scene.
And in Kentucky, convicted felons are not allowed to have firearms, but the state has some of the least restrictive gun laws in the country. Authorities say Couch was able to purchase an AR-style gun with 1,000 rounds, as there are no caps on ammunition. You don't need a permit to purchase or carry a gun in Kentucky.
Meantime, we're now learning more about the investigation into last week's deadly high school shooting outside Atlanta, Georgia. According to a report from the Washington Post today, the mother of the suspected 14-year-old shooter called the school that morning of the shooting to warn them about an extreme emergency. That's the word she used. Now, the Washington Post reports the call was made nearly half an hour before the gunfire erupted at the school, resulting in the deaths of the 2 students and 2 teachers there outside Atlanta. The suspect's aunt told the Washington Post that suspect Colt Gray has been, quote, begging for months to seek mental health care. Authorities investigating the shooting are also now revealing that Gray had registered at the school just 2 weeks earlier.
He didn't even attend class. He had gone to get some help and left, and so he really had been a full-time student yet.
The suspect has been charged with murder. He's expected to be tried as an adult. The suspect's father is also charged in connection with the shooting for providing that weapon to his son.
Here in Kentucky, a juvenile is facing charges after authorities say he made threats against a school in Marion County. And according to Kentucky State Police, troopers arrested the 16-year-old today, saying he made those terroristic threats to Marion County High School. The school district closed its doors today in Lebanon as a response to threatening social media posts, which included gun violence. The juvenile is currently being detained in a local juvenile detention center. Their name has not been released since they're a minor.
Right here at home, Louisville Metro Police Department is investigating after a man died in a crash and a car fire late last night. Police say it happened just before midnight when a pickup truck driving down Southern Parkway lost control. The pickup hit a tree head-on and caught fire. Emergency crews quickly got the fire under control. In the cab of the truck, they found a male driver with serious injuries there. A male passenger also died at the scene. Anyone with information about what happened can call the anonymous tip line to help detectives at 574-LMPD.
An investigation is underway after an 18-year-old died in a house fire. Fire crews in Taylorsville responded to the fire early Saturday morning, where they found 8 people trapped inside. All managed to escape the fire except former volunteer firefighter James Nation. Taylorsville Fire Chief Nathan Nation says he was mentoring James, who completed his training last fall. He remembers the 18-year-old as someone who was filled with passion to serve people.
Cared about others. Of course, I think that's a trait that obviously probably attracted him to the fire department. You could just tell, he had ambitions, graduating high school, which he did, and moving on into a career and, as a mechanic.
An autopsy is pending. A GoFundMe has been started to help the family during this time. To get a link for that, just go to WHAS11.com. Click on this story. You'll find it under the local news tab.
And more local news at 5. The Louisville Ballet is warning people against scammers who are selling fake tickets to the ballet. According to Louisville Ballet, patrons who purchase outside the ballet's website could potentially have invalid tickets. That means they'll get denied from attending their show if they show up. To get official tickets, the organization is urging you to stay away from buying tickets on the resale platforms. Instead, you're just encouraged to purchase tickets directly from the ballet's website, which is louisvilleballet.org. You can also do the old-fashioned thing and give them a call. Call the box office at the number in your screen. That is 502-583-2623. Funny thing there, Connie, pick up the phone and call them directly anymore.
Yeah, that's wild. Well, I tell you what's not wild is this weather. It's just gorgeous today, huh?
I know, and look at the old dapper Ben Pine here tonight. You'd think it's Kentucky Derby season. Love the pocket tie there, pocket square, excuse me there, Ben. And a nice matchup with the tie.
I don't know what I owe you, Doug, but I appreciate that. I'd rather have shorts and t-shirts and be out there enjoying this weather. It is perfect out there. Not a cloud in the sky, nothing but blue skies as we look at upper 70s, lower 80s. A little bit below normal with our temperatures, and of course we're coming off a weekend of 70s and sunshine. Our humidity is low as we've ever seen it this summer at 16%. We've only got 13 days until fall begins. Enjoying some early fall-like conditions out there with upper 70s, lower 80s throughout the metro and throughout all of our WHAS11 viewing area. Not a cloud in the sky across the entire Ohio Valley region. So it'll remain clear tonight. We dropped down to the 40s in many locations the last couple of mornings, and it'll be down to the 40s and 50s in most spots tomorrow morning. So a bit of a chill as we get started tomorrow morning, but it will be a little bit warmer tomorrow afternoon with more sunshine and probably not a cloud in the sky again, mid to upper 80s in that forecast for tomorrow. For tonight, low 54 in the city, but outlying areas could touch the upper 40s, 78 at noon tomorrow, and that forecast high at 88 degrees. Dry over the next several days. We need the rainfall, and it looks like we'll get some later this week from what is now Tropical Storm Francine. We'll be tracking this storm with the latest from the National Hurricane Center coming up.
Okay, Ben, thank you very much. We're following up now on breaking news from Friday. A man named Daryl Oliver was arrested for allegedly threatening and sexually assaulting 4 women here in downtown Louisville. It set off that rare public alert from Metro Police.
Yeah, LMPD says 2 of those women were assaulted Friday morning. Oliver was in a Clark County courtroom this afternoon for other charges he's facing in Indiana. Now, WHAS11's Gabriel Gonzalez was in the courtroom this afternoon. He joins us now in the studio. So what happened in court today?
Yeah, good evening, Doug and Connie. So Daryl Oliver is in the Clark County Jail right now. He's there on separate crimes unrelated to Friday's alert that was put out by LMPD. Now, the goal today was to find out what he's charged with in Indiana, but the state is putting that on hold. Here he is walking into the courtroom this afternoon with Judge Lisa Glidlick presiding over the case. Now, the judge immediately asked the state about the formal charges Oliver is facing. In response, the state said it's still reviewing some information and asked for a continuance of 72 hours. The judge granted that request.
Your Honor, the state's still reviewing information. The state requested 72-hour continuance.
Okay. So Mr. Oliver, sounds like the state needs more time to determine what, if any, charges should be filed. They have up to 72 hours in the state of Indiana, and so I'm going to go ahead and grant the state's motion.
Now, in addition to that, the state and judge both agreed to keep the same bond at $10,000 cash only. He will have another court date this coming Wednesday, September 11th. That is at 1:30 p.m. On that day, we're hoping to learn what he's charged with in Indiana. Now, we do expect to be there on Wednesday for those charges. Now, I did email LMPD earlier this afternoon to see if I could get an update on the Louisville charges. Remember, a duty to warn alert was put out on social media by LMPD on Friday. But because this is still an active investigation, a spokesperson told me there is no new information as of right now. Reporting live in studio, Gabriel Gonzalez, WHAS 11, on your side.
All right, it certainly was about a frightening 45 minutes on Friday before they made the arrest. Thank you, Gabriel. A Kentucky school system right now is getting proactive about school safety. Meade County school system implementing the same technology that allowed such a fast response time in the Georgia mass shooting from last week. Every teacher and staff member now wearing these badges. All the wearer has to do is click the badge a certain number of times to indicate a certain level of emergency. It does not have to be as serious as an active shooter, but it can help response times for medical emergencies or even behavioral emergencies. The staff members there in Meade County said the technology has become crucial to ensuring the safety of everyone on campus.
Saw some smoke that was going on, and I knew that it was a vape, and I did not have the phone number for the SRO, the school resource officer. And then it occurred to me, this is why I have a badge. This is why I have the Centegix. So I pressed it 3 times, and within a minute, within seconds, somebody was at the door.
According to Georgia law enforcement, within 6 minutes of someone using this alert system, the suspect of that school shooting was in custody. WHAS 11's Alex Dieter is in Meade County right now. She'll have more on the life-saving technology on the WHAS 11 night team tonight at 11.